In this unit, we'll talk about the current role and status of English in Southeast Asia with a specific focus on Malaysia and Singapore. Although Malay is acknowledged as the official language and the Singaporean anthem is in Malay, the most dominant language in Singapore is English. We see that the use of the local languages, including Mandarin, Malay, and Tamil, is restricted to the primary level only, and English is used in all the important domains of education and business. English is paid so much attention in Singapore because Singapore has made great efforts and seems to have a great desire to become the center of excellence in research in different areas of knowledge, and also to make Singapore a knowledge society. And to become a center of excellence at the international level, it is a given that one has to be completely proficient, a society has to be completely proficient in English if they want to become a knowledge society. So, English is now acquired in Singapore as a first language by many Singaporeans because they have made great efforts to become a center of knowledge, education, and research. The situation in Malaysia is completely different. Although English continued to play some role in Malaysia, in 1976, in an effort to promote national unity, Malay was declared the national or the only official language. Not only the only official language, but the language of instruction at all levels. So this act, which was passed in 1976, declared Malay the only language and the official language to be used in the government spheres, and also the language of instruction. The idea behind this declaration was, or this act was, to promote unity and solidarity among the Malaysian people. It was not only that Malay was declared the official language or the language of the government or official domain. It was made mandatory for many other domains. For example, all those who wanted to go into civil service had to pass a test in Malay. Similarly, the university candidates also had to clear a test in Malay language actually to secure an admission in a university. Of course, the majority of sources or the majority of books, etc., were in English. So a lot of effort was made to translate the scholarly work into Malay language. And a lot of original work in other languages, especially from English, was translated into Malay. And textbooks were also produced in Malay language. This process of what is now called a Malaysianization of Malaysia was completed in 1983. And it was the year when, according to this plan, the students who were introduced to Malay at school had reached university, or the Malaysianization process had reached the university level. However, English continued to be taught as a subject from grade 1 to 12. So English was not completely banished from Malaysia. It was taught, but only as a second language, and was not the medium of instruction. However, towards the end of the 20th century, it was felt that for the modernization of Malaysia, English was badly needed, and it was also felt that by this time, the aim of promoting nationalism, etc., had been achieved, and it was felt that for the modernization of Malaysia, English was needed, and so English was reintroduced in Malaysia as a medium of instruction. But in the beginning, it was introduced as a medium of instruction only in the spheres of science and technology. The Malaysian language, however, the Malay language was not completely forgotten, and it was also affirmed that Malay, the promotion of Malay, the development of Malay language will continue as a language of intellectual work. So they did not give up Malay completely and continued the development of, made efforts to continue the development of Malay, especially in intellectual work. So as a result, what is the current situation in Malaysia now? We have a younger generation which is not competent enough in English because they have been taught through Malay medium schools. But we have some remnants of the older generation, the generation which had obtained education before 1976. So we have some people from that generation who are still very competent in English. And not only that, there was a section of the Malay elite, the upper class people, who would go abroad for higher education, and they would obtain education from English-speaking countries. So they are also quite competent in English. Not only that, we see, it is a known fact that Malaysia has collaborated with a large number of British and American universities. So there's this partnership between Malay universities and British and American universities. And as a result of the campuses which these universities have in Malaysia, the English is coming back to Malaysia and still has a strong presence in Malaysia.